Welcome back, film crew. This is week number 3 of your film classes for this year's film festival. I hope you're excited. I know you're probably getting a little nervous. Right now you have 15 days as of this class, July 2nd. You have 15 days to get your video completely done. That's not very much time. You need to be working on it every single day. And if you're not, it's gonna bite you. And I'm here to help you, but you gotta be putting that work in. As of right now, you should have your script or your story finished, knowing what your story is, who your characters are, your plot, your setting. You should have your script ready to go, whether it's by itself or with your storyboard. It could be one or the other. I prefer having it by itself as well. But you need to have your storyboard finished also. And you need to have your plan. You're knowing when you're filming, who's your actors, who's filming with you, what props, costumes, makeup, things you need to make that you need to be written down and ready to start getting it ready or having made it already. And you need to know where you're filming. All these things need to be locked in now. If they're not locked in, get on it. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're behind, and I don't want you to feel that way. I'm here to help you. If you feel like you're behind, ask for my help, okay? I don't want you to miss out on this, but I need you to put the work in. You need to have all those things ready. So, today's class, we're going over filming and directing. Now, last week, during class, we talked about a little bit about filming and directing. We're going to talk about it. This is the official class time for it. Let's start with filming. When you go out to start filming, you need to keep a few things in mind. The first one is the rule of thirds. Imagine that every screen is broken up into 3 sections. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's the rule of thirds. Every camera shot is. Now, if you'll see where I'm sitting right now, where am I sitting? I'm camping out right on this line, right here. I'm right in between this. I'm right in the middle of this line that cuts this third and this third. It's called rule of thirds because there's 3 parts. You get that? 1, 2, 3. Rule of thirds. 1, 2, 3. And I'm right here, in between the middle line, the line that cuts off the outside and the inside. I'm right on that line. Does that make sense? And when you're filming your characters and they're doing stuff, this is how you want to film. You don't want to have them in the middle, and you don't want to have them all the way over here. You want to have them right there. It's kind of just enough where you can see their shoulders, and wherever there is space, that's where they look. If there's space here, you don't have me looking this way, because I'm just looking at a wall to the audience. To you, maybe not, but that's what the audience sees. It sees you looking at a wall or nothing. They don't know what you're looking at. You want to make it look like there's space to where they're looking, so the audience is seeing where they're looking. Does that make sense? Okay, that's important. It's simple, but it's important. Another thing to consider is your camera angle. If you are looking, and I'm going to try to adjust my camera, if you're looking down at me, it's going to make me look small and not very cool. And if you're looking up at me, it's going to make me look big and strong and powerful. Okay? Use camera angles for what it is you're trying to show. If somebody's bigger than somebody else, then have the camera looking up at them. And if there's somebody small, have them look them down. And there's all different kind of ways to use camera angles, but use camera angles as much as you can. Maybe look up different kind of shots if you want, but use camera angles. Another thing to consider when you start filming is you need what's called an establishing shot. And I should have talked about this in your storyboard. This needs to be in your storyboard. If it's not, because I didn't talk about it very much, just add it in, little side thing. An establishing shot tells and shows the audience where this is happening. If this is taking place on a farm, you're not going to show them in the barn inside shoveling hay and shoveling cow poop or whatever. First shot is going to be outside the barn. So you see the whole barn. Maybe you see the whole farm from up above. I don't know. But you want to establish where they are with a big backed up view. Okay? That's the first thing. The next thing, along the lines of this of rule of thirds, is it's called over the shoulder shots. So let's say that I'm talking to a guy and he's right here. Okay? This is the back of his head. There's the back of his head. Hi, my name is Mr. Hand. Well, I'm talking to Mr. Hand. Now, when I'm filming this is a really safe way to do this, a really good way to do it to help the audience feel like they're in the situation, is where you have the back of this guy's head right here and me talking to him right here. And so the camera usually will get like, that much of it. And just a part of his head, maybe a part of his shoulder, which you can't see his shoulder, but part of his shoulder. You want his head right about there, him talking, and I'm talking to him. Yeah, well, I told that guy, rah, 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 rah. You better not say that, rah, 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 rah. And then when you flip around to show this guy talking, so right now I'm on the left side of the screen, and he is on the right side of the screen, the back of his head. When you turn the camera around to show him talking, you want to keep it the same as what it is. Now, me on the left and him on the right. So now you're going to see my back of my head on the left side, and the front of his face on the right side. So let's try to practice it. So right now I'm on the left side, so I'm literally going to just turn here. So he's still on the left, and I'm still on the right. Blah, 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 blah. Now you're seeing the back of my head, blah, 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 and him talking, blah, 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 blah. And so you would film this whole conversation between me and this person with the camera sitting right here. The whole conversation. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, you're a silly goose. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, I'm also a silly goose. And cut. Then you wouldn't turn your people around. You would bring your camera. Bring your camera around over to here. So where you would see this now. And repeat the conversation. And action. Blah, 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 blah. No, you're a silly goose. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, you're right. I am also a silly goose. You see what happens? You had to film the same thing, the whole thing, from both sides. And then when you go to edit it, you can cut this at blah, 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 blah. Well, showing him talking, and then the next scene would be me going, you're a silly goose. And then you would cut right back again to the shot you got before of him going, blah, 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 blah. You see his face. The point is, film the whole thing from this side, and then film the whole thing from the other side. Does that make sense? If it's confusing, I'll make it easier for you next time when I see you or you ask me. So that's over the shoulder. Make sure when you are filming, this is really important, that there is no background noise going on. Audio is hard, you guys. You never think about all the sounds going on all around you all the time. And when you start filming them, they will interrupt your video, or they will make it bad to where you can't hear it, and it will be. So you gotta make sure there's no dogs barking in the background, no cars driving by. If it's just a small sound, that's fine. But if it's loud, it will ruin your shot. You do not want to be watching your movie in the theater with your family, and all of a sudden there's a dog barking in the background and it distracts. You can't even hear what they're saying. If there's bad audio, stop filming, remove the sound, or go somewhere else so you can get good audio. So important. When you're filming your shots, you can have it on a tripod like this, and this is super steady, right? The camera's never moving. You can also have the camera being held by someone, or you if you're the one filming, but just make sure that you're holding it nice and steady. None of this shaking mumbo jumbo. We don't need that. That will make people dizzy, and it's not good. You need smooth. You can move the camera if you need. I'm filming over here now, and I'm filming down there, and I'm going over here, and I'm showing him, and I'm showing what he's looking at. That's fine. Smooth movements, but don't jerk it. Unless it's supposed to be a scary moment, like that's fine. But usually It's smooth movements. This is me filming with your phone, okay? By the way, there's a lot to learn about cameras and filming, and we're not talking about it, okay? We're gonna get the basics first. Basics are smooth movements. Remember the headroom, keeping the headroom. You don't want their head all the way down here, and you don't want to be cutting off their head either, okay? Rule of thirds, over the shoulder stuff, smooth movements, all right? All these things to keep in mind. Remember, if you film the whole thing from one side, when you go to edit it, you can switch it back and forth in your editing. But you can film the whole thing from this side for right now, and then go and film the next scene. Be thinking about how it can be pieced together later on. That's an important part for you. When you're filming, try to put the camera in places that is unique or different. You want to try to show people a view that they've never seen before. Let's say people are playing out in the grass. Well, a few good shots, maybe your wide shot would be to put the camera all the way down in the grass, so you can see a little bit of grass, like right in the front, but then you see your people off in the background as well, all the way down on the ground. You want to show the world from a different perspective. Mix it up. Don't just hold the camera like this the whole time. You can, but mix it up sometimes. Put the camera up way up high. Put the camera way down below. Put it way over here on the side. Come behind this building and just kind of just come out from underneath it, or behind it, so you can just see them way out over here. But you see the building. Mix up your shots. Show people a view they've never seen before. Along the lines of mixing up your shots is mixing up your camera, your shot types. Remember we talked about close-ups, mediums, and wides. Which wides? You'd see my feet standing way back there. Well, every scene you film, almost every scene, I would recommend that you film the whole scene as a wide, you film the whole scene again as a medium, and you film the whole scene again with a close-up, either on just one person or mix, or do two different close-ups. So important, so that you can change it up. You have things to go to. There's nothing worse when you go to edit your video and you have nothing to work with. You're like, well, I guess I have to use this one long, lame, wide shot because I got nothing else. If you can go from a wide to a medium, and then another medium from the other direction, and then a close-up, and then back to the wide, back to the medium. Oh, it just makes it feel good. It makes the audience feel like they're in it, and makes it more enjoyable and engaging. So get a close-up, a medium, and a wide of almost every shot you film. The other thing you need to do with every shot you film is film it not only once, but twice, at least twice. If you get the first shot good, film it again. You always want 2 good shots in the bag. Obviously, if you film the first one and the second one and they both were not good, keep going until you get it good, okay? So eventually you have to just be like, you know what? That's our best shot. We're gonna move on. But at least give it 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times before you move on. Unless it's a really important shot, then you keep going until you get it right. But make sure you're always at least getting 1, 2 shots. If the first one looks good, get 1 more. Okay, we're gonna talk about directing now. This video is already getting long, so I'm gonna talk about this, try to keep it short and sweet. First of all, directing, you as a director, you are setting the mood. You're the only person, if you have people helping you film, you are the only person who knows what you want this video to look like and feel like. So you set the mood. If it's a silly, goofy film and everybody's kind of like this, you start acting silly. You start bringing the silly out of people. If it's a really sad scene and everybody else is goofing around, you bring it down to a sad level. Hey guys, let you know this scene is really sad. I need everybody to just really focus in. If you need a minute to take a minute, go ahead. But this is an important scene. It's really sad. You set the mood. Okay, you don't have to be mean about it, but you do need to be firm. People are going to be going all over the place, especially if you got other kids filming with. No offense to kids, but kids get rowdy and goofy and playing and not paying attention. You have to be like, hey, Let's stay focused. And you gotta stay focused. If you're directing your video, you stay focused. Keep your storyboard in front of you. Keep your shot list. You can cross off as you go. Pay attention to what you're doing. This takes focus. Have fun later. You're filming right now, okay? And filming is fun. Even if you have to have focus, it is very fun. But it just takes patience and you set the mood. Be patient, but be firm with the people. Hey, I know you guys are having fun. When you just come back and film, be over here. Another thing is to respect people's time. If you have people filming with you who is not your friends and family, or somebody who's coming in to help you, and you know they can only be over here for an hour, make this work in an hour. Okay, that's a hard thing to do. It's important. Don't panic when you're directing. It's easy to be like, or just to like want to give up, because it can be a little nervy. You being the boss and everybody's looking to you and they're kind of like, what are you doing? You don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what you're doing. Don't worry about that. This is your video. You're learning, and it's okay you don't know what you're doing. Okay, it's okay that this is crazy and kind of hard. You're learning. You're experiencing it. And for those of you who are making this as your second video, you know that. So go into it being patient, not panicking. Remember, this is hard. Making videos is hard, but it's also very fun. So don't panic. Like I said before, when you're setting the mood, you're also setting the feeling of how you want them to act in your video. Okay? You tell them how to act. If you get a shot filmed and it was supposed to be really sad, and in the shot the guy was like, I'm really sad and I'm gonna cry. You're gonna stop, you're gonna go, okay, that was great, loved, always encourage. That was a great shot, you did a really good job. But I need you to go the completely other direction with it. And I need you to be like almost crying and try to give them something to think about. Think about if your dog got ran over. And don't say something crazy bad, but a dog ran over is pretty fine to say. How would you feel? I'm so sad. Hopefully let's do that. Get them there. All right, let's change that. Let's change that happy face and make it really sad because it's a sad scene. So you tell them how to act. If they don't do it in the shot, you reshoot it until they give you what it is you need. They may not give you the perfect thing, but it needs to be close to it at least. The last thing I'll say about directing is, as you're filming these shots, I want you to imagine in your head what music is playing in the background of the scene. Do you imagine it being like Indiana Jones, dun 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 dun? Is it really sad? Like dun 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 dun. Play that music in your head a little bit. That'll help you to feel how you want the mood of this to be. Maybe you don't know what the sound of the music would be, and that's fine. But if you do know, it helps you when you're filming, when you're directing. And that's the last thing that I will say about directing. Next week, or next class, which is either gonna be tomorrow, which is Wednesday, or Friday. It'll probably just be Friday, because I'm gonna try to start working with you guys individually to start getting your videos moving. So at the very least, our next class, which is our last class, Friday, we're gonna talk about editing. And editing is where all the pieces come together and it makes your video. Your shots come pieced together, music comes in, sound effects come in, maybe a narration comes in, somebody talking over your video. You change the color to make it, if you want it black and white, or if you want it, to look really, I don't know, whatever. A lot of things you can do with editing. And it's where it comes to life, and that's what we're gonna talk about at the next class. Once again, if you need any help, or you're struggling, or you need to ask me questions, call me, text me, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.